Hi, hello everyone. I'm Natasha Dyson, the co-founder of ARTiSTOry. Firstly, thank you very much for everybody who's attending today. We appreciate you giving up your time, and I wish everyone a very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are. We have some early starters in the US and some very late attendees from Asia. It's very nice to see some returning names and some new names on our attendee list. Thank you very much. I'm going to start with a couple of updates, just a brief overview of some introductions to some of our new licensees, a reminder of our new museum partners, and a very brief update on our business model. I'll then pass over to Anna Stein and Alicia Chen, our country managers and business development directors for the for North America and the APAC regions respectively. We'll then pass over to the highlight of today's event, which is to Georgina Heatley, our Research and Product Development Executive, to present our 2022 Phase 1 Creative Themes and Collections. We expect the full presentation to take around 45 minutes and have around 15 minutes for questions at the end. Please do feel free to post a question at any time in the chat so we can answer that at the end. And don't be shy, we like a question. So, on to our museum partners. We have global rights exclusive in China for the Museum Fine Arts Boston. We have global rights for the Brooklyn Museum, who are celebrating their 200th anniversary from summer 2024 to summer 2025. One of our newest partners, Centre Pompidou, with global rights, but starting with a licensing program in China. We have global rights excluding China for the National Gallery, who will also be celebrating their 200th anniversary in 2024. We have global rights for the Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum, who are celebrating their 30th anniversary next month, babies in comparison to some of our other museum partners. We have global rights for the Benaki Museum in Athens, and another one of our new partners, the British Library in London, who we've got rights for the Chinese market, but hope to soon expand globally. We have global rights excluding China for the National Palace Museum in Taipei, and global rights for Dunhuang Inspiration in the city of Dunhuang, China. So although we introduced the Benaki Museum in our previous creative launch, we wanted to just show a short video here to introduce the various different museums and a few of their artifacts. I'll now introduce you to some of our European and Asian licensees. So Janice Wong is a direct-to-consumer brand selling their own beautiful cakes and chocolates. They'll be launching in their own stores and online later this year in time for Christmas, and they've used designs inspired by artwork in the National Gallery. Hago, which stands for Have a Good One and means together in the dictionary, is an online curation platform that showcases domestic and foreign fashion and lifestyle products. They'll be launching a Brooklyn Museum mono brand for the Korean market in spring/summer 2023. Fashion UK have a license for menswear for the retailer Kiabi in France, and their products are currently on sale at the moment. They've got designs inspired by artwork from the MFA and the National Gallery. Now some of our global and global excluding China licensees. Firstly, Techno Mobile, a company that recently launched their Techno Camion 19 Pro Mondrian edition in a tribute to artist Pierre Mondrian. They supported the launch with an event held at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts in July this year, and products currently on sale. Tom's have taken Tom's the brand has taken global rights for footwear and eyewear. Yuan is a Spanish-based direct-to-consumer brand that launched a range of footwear at the beginning of the year. They sell globally excluding China, but their main markets focused on Europe and the USA, and have taken designs inspired by artwork at the MFA and the National Gallery. Alex are the publishers of the Clash of Kings game and have signed a license with us for Dunhuang. This gives the Clash of Kings gamers access to be able to experience the magic of Dunhuang. The Clash of Kings game has been downloaded over 500 million times. Abode is another direct-to-consumer brand which has global rights excluding China. It's a smart vacuum cleaner, so a robot vacuum cleaner. Its main markets being the US and Europe, and they've used designs inspired by artwork from the National Gallery. A2V is a licensee that will sell via the US, the UK, and Australia. They have the rights for gifting products and also arts and crafts, and they're using designs inspired by the Brooklyn Museum, the MFA, and the National Gallery. Some of our US licensees, we have Jade City Food. Jade City Foods recently launched their hot sauces and coffee using designs inspired by the MFA and the National Gallery. We have CD Visionary, which launched point-of-sale items such as badges or pins, as the US team call them, and magnets. They've used artwork from the MFA. Ruggable is a direct-to-consumer brand. I'm not going to talk too much about Ruggable because Anna will give an overview in a couple of moments. In China, AK Retail Club are launching a range of apparel using using designs inspired by artworks from the Brooklyn Museum. Our Chinese team have also been very hard at work securing multiple other licensing partners. They've secured multiple digital collectibles, the NFT version in China, for Dunhuang Inspiration, for the Brooklyn Museum, and also for the Benaki Museum. They've also secured rights for digital trading cards for Dunhuang, and are working on multiple location-based entertainment projects which will launch later this year and early next year. We'll probably bring you up to date on those in our next presentation. Later this month, ARTiSTORY will launch one of our first stores, ARTiSTORY Collections. ARTiSTORY Collections is a collection of products that uses our designs to create products and storytelling at accessible price point. We're then launching later this year ARTiSTORY X. ARTiSTORY X will target art lovers from all around the world with exclusive products and designs which are high quality and supported by content and storytelling. So what does ARTiSTORY offer? ARTiSTORY works with world-class museums. We have access to over 2 million artifacts, over 1,000 master artists, and 8,000 years of history. We work on multiple designs, creating multiple themes throughout the year. We launch 8 different themes, which are broken down into smaller collections, which are ultimately become style guides across all of our museum partners. We present 30 different style guides per year. And in terms of our global overview, we work with the talented artists and designers from all over the world to give us a truly global feel and look. We've got artists and designers based in China, the UK, Spain, Finland, the US, and Israel, to name a few. So as a reminder of our business model, ARTiSTORY transforms artifacts to merchandise. We research, we create, and we curate. We research, we curate, and we create. Apologies, I can't read my own writing. So having researched upcoming trends, our team put together multiple themes and collections that are inspired by these, that correlate with these trends. They select the most relevant and recognised artworks and artefacts for use. These themes are broken down into smaller collections, which we present as style guides, and that all of our designs are inspired by the original artworks and artefacts and created to give products and packaging a modern, contemporary feel, and to enable you, the licensee, to invite your customers to welcome art from the past into their present modern lifestyle. We also support licensees with content, working with licensees to create storytelling through narrative and content. Most of this content can be used for in-store point of sale, for swing tickets, to support products online, as we can see here with the Ewing example. Also to create interactive shop windows, activations in store, and many other purposes. So we work closely with licensees to create that content and to supply them with everything they need for their marketing and storytelling purposes. We also work with licensees to create content. So ARTiSTORY can organise various forms of content on site at our museum partners. That includes filming and photo shoots, interviewing art specialists and curators, exclusive tours and talks, product launches and screenings. I'm now going to pass over to Anna Stein, our Country Manager and Business Development Director for North America, to present one of our case studies.
Hi, everybody. Well, one of our first licensees based out of LA is DTC homewares pioneer Ruggable. Ruggable is known for their patented machine washable system that allows beautiful, elegant rugs to be put to the test of the trials of everyday home shuffles. They have collaborated with some major other artists, and we are very pleased that they are launching a bespoke collection with the National Gallery London that will be available for purchase this November all over the world. Ruggable will be launching 12 bespoke designs inspired by the masterpieces of Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Van Gogh, and other iconic artists that have been interpreted by a team of designers to be appropriated to your living room. In keeping with their D2C model, Ruggable has targeted a list of top influencers globally, but specifically across the UK and Europe, as their main source of advertising is across social media. The National Gallery has been able to work with Ruggable to create specific details and marketing elements to meet Ruggable's needs. If I do say so, it has been an absolute pleasure to work with Ruggable and the National Gallery, and it has been a seamless partnership thus far. All right, I'll give it back to you, Natasha.
Thanks, Anna. Thank you for the update. We'll now pass over to Alicia, our Country Manager for, our Country Manager and New Business Development Director for the APAC region, to talk about our Global Artist Programme.
Thank you, Natasha. Next, we will talk about Global Artist Programs that we launched last year in late 2021. So during our launch in April this year, we announced our partnership with N Venture from the New School, and we invited 6 artists who are alumni of Parsons Design School to create design assets inspired by artifacts from different museums. We are pleased and delighted to present this design later and look forward to more continued success with Parsons. So next, I'll pass time to Georgina, the Research and Product Development Executive from the UK office. Georgina, I think you're on mute.
much. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Georgina, Research and Product Development Executive, working with Research Editor and Product Management Executive, Ben. We research the museum collections for inspiration for our global sales and creative teams. From the beginning, ARTiSTORY's focused on storytelling and design to celebrate and share inspiration from the incredible, diverse and iconic artworks and artifacts from centuries past and artists throughout history. We are launching 3 new themes and have a refresh of one of our previous themes, Gathering of the Greats, which has become an evergreen theme. Mythical Wonderland takes us back to the ancient civilizations around the world. Around the world is a journey from city to jungle, desert to mountain. Modern Mix-Up brings us some of the most famous artists of the 20th century. Gathering of the Greats features 4 new collections with new designs to complement our previous creations and expand upon current style guides. Van Gogh's iconic flowers are recreated once again, alongside Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks and Dürer's infamous medieval creations, masterpieces you'd recognise, artists remembered the world over, surpassing through each generation. At ARTiSTORY, we research current and upcoming trends across fashion runways, high street and high-end stores, social media and current conversations. The old masters still inspire designers, with Monet's lily ponds giving us new looks for colourful, flowing designs like a ripple effect into fashion. In recent years, we have seen these old masters celebrated in the 21st century trends for the Instagram generation. Immersive experiences and digital exhibition give new life and deeper insights into the works of artists well before our time. We're in the process of creating our own. Vincent van Gogh's work is admired for his modern depictions of landscapes and the natural world, where today we understand his troubled mind spilled onto the canvas to create paintings we so admire today. Van Gogh's masterpieces are also held within the Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum in Madrid, Spain, and the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. Van Gogh's sunflowers are blooming into licensed products with ARTiSTORY, so we have created new designs which we have added into our Seasons of Impressionist style guide with the National Gallery, London. Van Gogh declared, "The sunflower is mine," and today we present new interpretations that could be yours to produce licensed collections with. Here we show how we envision Vincent van Gogh's sunflowers if he were to paint these as graffiti paintings. The street art style may well have intrigued this infamous painter. Anime and manga drawings have inspired this next collection of design assets, created for the full style guide. With all these designs, we are just showing a few highlights, so please do contact our sales teams to discover more. Would Van Gogh have picked up a spray can? We cannot know for sure, though as a pioneer of modern art, we believe he would have engaged in social media and CAD and AI designs too if he were alive today. Spain's Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum gave us inspiration for a succinct, playful style to inspire design with bold, bright colours. Van Gogh's swirling trees are clearly seen here. Here we showcase how we turn artefacts into merchandise. Claude Monet gears us up to celebrate the landscapes of his beloved homeland, France. As the world will look to Paris for the Olympics in 2024, you will see among these collections many subtle and clear connections towards the next host country. Monet believed in and encouraged en plein air painting outside, so let's explore his landscapes. The Poppy Fields series by Monet were his first creation, into a new style of expressionism, leading to the maturing of his impressive style. These are looked after by the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. We continue our passion for Monet's garden in Giverny, France, where National Gallery's paintings show further views of the water lily pond and Japanese bridge, inspired by the works of the likes of previous ARTiSTORY artist Katsushika Hokusai. An artist who lived and worked in the 15th to 16th century may seem unimaginable or unrelatable today, yet Dürer is definitely a modern artist ahead of his time. In his work, we see a combination of classic aesthetic and rich, mind-blowing imagination. Recent trends lead us back to the Renaissance. Today, partnering with our museums, we are able to look extremely close to the master's unparalleled works, in details to be inspired by. Physics, maths, biology, who is a master of all. Among the most famous pieces, our selections are just a tip of the iceberg of Dürer's body of work. We can see a knowledgeable Renaissance master and his artistic representation of science. These rigorous studies containing the rhinoceros on the left and the teaching of measurements on the right are unsurpassed masterpieces in the minds of artists today. Here we are in the Brooklyn Museum, looking at Dürer's most iconic engravings and monumental large prints. We appreciate their extremely delicate lines carved by hand and believe these are the extraordinary stories to be retold. With a close reading of Dürer's prints and the stories underlying them, ARTiSTORY designers carefully trace the movement of these lines, extracting elements from the pictures one by one and combining them into beautiful patterns and prints for product development. Such an elegance never goes out of fashion. The ultimate in extravagance and sophistication is synonymous with Dürer's work. Working at almost the same time, there stands another giant of the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci. We're all familiar with his paintings, but the secrets of the master are also hidden behind his other artworks. These are the codes of nature where Leonardo met his muse of inspiration. For him, the knowledge of science can only be redrawn via the direct study of nature. The National Gallery's The Version of the Rocks is not only a treasure of the gallery, but also a star in the history of art globally. Despite its religious theme, even the mysterious blue colour of the fabric and the background is inspirational. Written 500 or so years ago, the British Library's Leonardo da Vinci notes are a model example of the perfect convergence of art and science. Sketches on the one side and precise mathematic diagrams on the other. The master showed off his talent for studying nature. Flows of river, astronomy, optics, architecture, and the flight of birds are just a few of his subjects he studied. ARTiSTORY presents Leonardo da Vinci's observation into the mysteries of nature, reinterpreting his research of light and reflection, the mirror, into exquisite patterns of light, turning serious scientific research into interesting design. With a sci-fi mathematical look, these iconic designs from Leonardo's mind could work across numerous product categories, including apparel, homewares, and more. Western civilization has been influenced by the ancient Greeks and Romans for centuries. Following the end of the Mycenaean civilization in around 1200 BC, the Greeks gave way for the political, philosophical, artistic, educational, and scientific achievements. They also gave us a legacy of legendary gods, goddesses, muses, and each of their domains, purposes, and origin stories to explore and decipher. With the Benaki Museum in Athens, Greece, and Dunhuang in China, we have explored their collections and archives full of art and artifacts for our mythical wonderland theme. This encompasses To Love and to Hold, The Triumph of Heroes, Everything Has Beauty, and The Legend of the Silk Road. The muses and goddesses of the ancient worlds are ever present among catwalks, entwined into jewelry and among textile designs. With the Greek myths and symbolism, we have researched the love stories from Venus to Aphrodite and some of the greatest Greek mythological stories like Eros, the son of Aphrodite. The stories of love, heartache, honour and passion began with the ancient Greek goddess Aphrodite or Venus to the Romans. These collections explore the geographical and historical scope of the classical world into late antiquity, To Love and to Hold. We explored the ranges of artistic techniques and materials used by ancient artists. Each style guide provides a history of these collections and artifacts for packaging and marketing purposes. The ancient civilizations celebrated daily life, love and loss, myths and religion, heroes and warriors, and beauties through their handicrafts, of which we have some fantastic examples across the Benaki Museum and the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, displayed here. Discovered through archaeological excavations in modern times, these artifacts have been repaired, restored, and cared for, giving us a glimpse back in time. The celebrated vases and statues show the shared interests and various traditions of cross-cultural commemoration. We have dedicated a style guide of designs to these Attic red figure vases, here which honour Dionysus's grand wedding, the god of wine, so it would have been a wonderful party. Here we show ancient Greek's sense of style is timeless. Triumph of Heroes. With excitement mounting in preparation for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, we know sportswomen and men have aspired for Olympic glory since the Iliad and the Odyssey. Why don't we bring together the glory of gladiators, gods, and athletes, celebrating heroes and heroines? Much of what we know, use, and learn today has roots in the Greek world, just like Pan, painted here by Poussin in the National Gallery collection. Pan is the god of the wild, woodland, fields, and flocks and herds of sheep. This painting celebrates Bacchus, the Roman god of wine, Dionysus to the Greeks. For Triumph of Heroes, our designs are a work in progress. We have been inspired by the Benaki Museum's ceramic collection to showcase Olympians and sporting greats, focusing on the sports like javelin seen here and the movement of these figures, celebrating their Greek origins. Everything has beauty. Aphrodite's beauty lies within all of us. Though broken and separated through time, these artifacts mesmerize and inspire us, giving us endless possibilities to see the true beauty deeply in our designs, stemming from fragments of the past. The symbol of Aphrodite, goddess of beauty, is seen as the earmark for feminine beauty. Venus and Aphrodite statues grace much of everyday life. Beyonce even posed as Venus for her pregnancy photographs. Now we bring her into a newly created original design assets by our ARTiSTORY design teams. We have created these designs with bold yet feminine shades, soft lines and a watercolour effect. By creating these marble classical statues, we show how ancient artifacts and architectural elements can be reinterpreted for today's young customer, particularly Gen Z. Beauty is multifaceted, and so are these designs. We bring back Dunhuang to explore the legend of the Silk Road, the centre of cultural exchange, sharing religions, stories, spices, and of course, silks. The Mogao Caves have inspired our designs for our past 2 theme launches, and here they have now inspired collaborations with Parsons School of Design in New York City, artists alumni. We have worked closely with these artists for their creations of stunning patterns, prints, and style guides ready to license. Traditional Chinese mythology was depicted among these cave walls, with colours still bright as the day they were painted, around 1,000 years ago. These painted murals depict the Jakarta tales, where the journey of Buddha led to his enlightenment. There is 492 Mogao caves, which we are exploring as a team, gaining new inspiration with each one. Our teams in Shanghai have been visiting Dunhuang regularly to discover the secrets and stories firsthand. Parsons artist Liv Garber has worked with ARTiSTORY to bring the story of an ancient Indian king to modern art. When carrying white doves, he sought to protect all earthly creatures. And here we see her designs of how they'd look. Our third theme is around the world. From Paris to Venice, Shanghai to New York, concrete jungles entice us, yet the sea, beaches, deserts and hills call to us to explore outside, away from our home comforts. Where will these style guides take you? Each season, we research current trends in fashion, homeware, and societal preferences and conversations, particularly around sustainability and equality. We're trend-driven and also trend makers. We have access to our museum partners' upcoming exhibitions, so utilise this knowledge when creating our themes and collections within them. South to the horizon, our summer season collections are growing, with this Mediterranean yachting seafaring inspired collection, hoping to celebrate nautical endeavours, in particular the Paris 2024 sailing events, which will be held in Marseille, south of France. The Brooklyn Museum's John Singer Sargent collection pulls together the calmness of sunshine on the sea and wind in your hair. This series of watercolour paintings by John Singer Sargent portrays scenes of a perfect summer, which Sargent allows us to escape to lavish locations not far from the bodies of water that we crave during the summer. A true nautical summer look. Did Impressionism really start with Monet, Renoir, and the French artists? Some people feel its roots lie with British painter Joseph Mallard William Turner, JMW Turner. He's been regarded as the first modern artist due to his messy, expressive style and light colours, which influenced the painters who came next. His 250th anniversary of his birth will be celebrated in 2025. His famous The Fighting Temporary lives in the National Gallery collection. We see the ship being towed towards the blazing sunset down the river, symbolically showing the start of the Industrial Revolution, where sails gave way to steam. Hustle and bustle. Summer in the city of love is always a good idea. Before the Olympic torch arrives, let the city's magic and lights guide you your way in the footsteps of 2 centuries of artists. We introduce our newest museum partner, Centre Pompidou. Based in Paris, this museum holds some of the most famous masterpieces of the 20th century and onwards. From abstract patterns to bright, contrasting colours, we have delved into Robert Delaney's works, husband to artist Sonia Delaney, who together were famous Cubist artists. He painted the now iconic painting of the Eiffel Tower, pointing skywards and full of colour, now a well-known image of modern Paris. The Moulin Rouge is roaring back to stage, and with can-cans are flowing. Deteleuze-Lautrec and Steinlen depicted the late 19th century for us through paintings and posters of nightclubs and cabarets and the famous Chat Noir, known for its black cat. The Museum of Fine Arts Boston holds a range of these artworks, inspiring a new take on Paris and its diverse underground nightlife. Life's a cabaret with these creations. Hustle and Bustle celebrates Paris, a city in which the Impressionists honed their talents, depicting everyday life, travel into the city, and touristic life. From the 19th century environment, little has changed into the 21st century. The National Gallery's Impressionist collection is iconic, inspiring, and sought after among apparel, fashion houses, accessories, and more. Poetry of Architecture is a global survey for city dwellers and architectural admirers and travellers alike. This collection's reach is totally multi-countrywide and spans centuries of great masterpieces, with more cities to be included. One of the best things about travelling is exploring a culture's architectural and societal history. Doing so can help us understand how it became what it is today, while also helping us look back and question our own surroundings. Italian artist Canaletto is infamous for his expertly detailed landscapes and architectural paintings. During the 17th century, he painted for tourists, particularly the elite European families during their grand tour or gap year, which led his important masterpieces finding their way into grand houses, palaces, and museums across the continent, including a vast collection here in the Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum in Madrid. Parsons School of Art artist Francis Ross has designed our Canaletto-inspired Poetry of Architecture style guide. Full of icons, patterns, and prints in a multitude of colourways, reminiscent of the floating city of Venice on the Adriatic coast. Venice is one of the oldest ports and cultural centres of the world and was historically the end of the Silk Road. Italianesque and ornate Baroque illustrations of architectural designs, from ceiling domes to Corinthian columns, show some of the most ornate of illustrations. Many are distinguished, especially by their large carved acanthus leaves and stained glass window designs here in the Brooklyn Museum. Around the world, far off lands. From one side of the Silk Road to a central hub, we descend again to Dunhuang in the Gobi Desert, as well as exploring landscape paintings within the collections of the Museum of Fine Arts Boston to immerse ourselves in nature. From Yellowstone National Park to the South American rivers, the geographical heritage of the continent of America has inspired artists for generations. Geological formations around Dunhuang have formed over hundreds of thousands of years in the Gansu province. This naval fleet is so called for the rocks also seen to be sailing in motion to a shared destination. Parsons artist Liv Garber has designed our Far Off Lands style guide, our latest collection with Dunhuang. This was the point where two branches of the Silk Road from the Tarim Basin on the north and south converged. The ancient city was brought under Chinese control during the Han Dynasty, 206 BC to 222 AD. Liv has shared how her marvellous designs can be adapted, ready for any adventurer. Our final theme, modern mix-up. The 20th century saw some of the biggest cultural and societal changes, from fashion to human rights, women could finally vote and paint with careers nearly equal to their male counterparts. Art was becoming abstract and colour popped everywhere. 2024 marks the 80th anniversary of the deaths of two great abstract artists, Piet Mondrian and Wassily Kandinsky. Fashion houses have looked to Piet Mondrian's simple yet spectacular squared primary colour paintings since Hermès and Yves Saint Laurent. With the 80s and 90s fashions back on trend, so is representations of modern art for everyday wear, accessories and couture. Mondrian's timeless colour palette of red, blue, yellow, white and black scales back masterpieces to merely lines, squares and rectangles. How did he create something so simple and perfect, yet never before seen in art history? Mondrian's compositions in the Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum collection date to 1931 and 1941. Yet still today, they're sleek, modern, and look almost digitally created, rather than by paint, paintbrush, and one creative mind. Our newest museum partner, Centre Pompidou, showcases Mondrian's iconic style. The angular structure translates the New York skyline. In New York, the organized street map had a great impact on exiled European artists, just like Mondrian, who arrived there in 1940. This work is typical of Mondrian's last research after his neoplastic period. We believe the modern 21st century would have inspired Mondrian to further his designs across a range of product categories. We look again to the father of abstract art, Wassily Kandinsky, whose art brought together painting and music. The painted stripes with indescribable swirling, curling shapes seem to be like a music sheet with geometric motifs and bright colours from the Centre Pompidou's collection, the largest modern art collection in Europe, which is inspiring our designs. Thyssen-Bornemisza National Museum holds a range of Kandinsky's works from 1910 to 20, including sketches, watercolour and oil paintings. From the early 1910s onwards, Kandinsky turned his back on the depiction of the world of external appearances, embarking instead on the creation of wholly abstract canvases, ready for a modern home. Thank you all for listening, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts about how these designs and inspirations can work for you. Here's our contacts. I'll hand back over to Natasha.
Thank you very much, Georgina. As you can see, 2024 is a big year for celebrations. We've got the Paris Olympics, the National Gallery and the Brooklyn Museum 200th anniversaries, and on a more sadder note, the 80th anniversaries of the deaths of Kandinsky and Mondrian. I'd like to thank all our participants, so our ARTiSTORY team of presenters and helpers, of course our museum partners, and to everybody here for joining us today. We hope that the presentation has inspired you to consider your 2024 product ranges, and you'll use ARTiSTORY for your design and storytelling needs. Please contact your sales representative to learn more on today's creative and also our past themes and collections. Our whole European team is attending Brand License in Europe, and we'd be very happy to meet you there. So please do get in touch with your sales representative to set up a meeting. I'm now going to hand over to you for any questions. Please do feel free to ask anything on your mind. We'll have a question. Oh, the questions go in the chat box, apologies. There's a chat box or a question and answer box. Feel free to use either. No questions anywhere? Well, while I still have you, as there's no questions, there's a few points I would love to cover. Firstly, I wanted to let all of our potential licensees and current licensees know that all of the files that we create, all of the design assets that we create, are created as layered artwork files. So they can be adapted by our licensee, the colours can be changed, the image can be adjusted to suit the needs of our retail partners and our brand partners. And for those that are not aware of the growth in the cultural market, in the cultural sector, between 2019 and 2020, pre-pandemic, the cultural sector globally was the fastest growing sector in licensing. So it's only a small increase. Well, it was an 18% increase year on year. It's still a very small but growing sector of this market. And in China, the figures are actually quite astounding and put the rest of the world to shame. Definitely the leaders in this sector, partially down to my business partner, Isan He. And they lead the art and culture sector. Revenue from the art and culture sector is a massive 18% of licensing revenue. Compared to the global figure, which is very, very low. Our mission at ARTiSTORY is to grow that figure and to bring museum and art and heritage cultural designs and artworks into the public eye. No, I still got no questions from the floor there, or from my screen, I should say, rather than floor. I did want to remind everyone that, also art and culture or is very much an evergreen sector. It doesn't date, and it covers multiple, or the art covers multiple, on artifacts collectively cover a huge array of topics. And the designs that we produce that can be easily applied to both product and packaging. I still have no questions for anyone, so from anyone else, just me talking further. So if there's no questions, oh, here we are. I think somebody's got a question for me. Oh, they put their hands up and I've lost the person.
Anya, I saw the hand up. If you'd like to write the question in the chat.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, I've just been pointed out to where the questions are. After advising everybody where to look, I've missed them myself. So Natalie, thank you. I've already answered your question there, Ivan. Natalie, thank you for your question about the benefits of licensees working with ARTiSTORY over working with the museums directly. Firstly, ARTiSTORY has spent a number of months negotiating and putting together the deals, the agreements with our museum partners. So when a licensee chooses to work with us, we already have a list of agreed product categories and are ready to go, and designs that have been pre-approved. So makes the whole process much smoother in terms of the contract negotiation process, but also in terms of the product development process. Yes, and Janine, thank you for your question. Again, yes, those the style guides can be adapted, so all of the artworks that we create can be adapted. We do follow a strict approval process with all of our museum partners. So even on approved artwork, we still have to follow the approval process for the museums to approve all product, all packaging and all marketing materials. But the fact that our designs are already pre-approved makes the process a lot quicker. Thanks, Georgina. I'll just wait a few more minutes just to see if Anya did have a question. No, seems not. So thank you very much, everyone, for your time today. Here we are. There we are. Well, Anya, now you've found the question box. I do hope you're going to post a question for me. No, maybe not. It's been a pleasure as always to present our creative themes to you, and we do hope to see you back here next year we'll be presenting our 2024 phase 2 themes and collections around March, April time. And as I said, the link for today's presentation will be shared on YouTube, and we'll also share that on email with everyone who's attended today. So thank you, Anya, for your lovely comments. I'll give a lot of credit to Georgina, Ben, and the creative team for the hard work they've done putting together these themes and collections for us. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
And goodbye.
Bye. We'll see you at BLE.
Yes, hopefully see you all at BLE.